I'm Kendra Cook, your host for the DCTV daily news program out of Dove Creek, Colorado. The Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translator Association. That's the special district association responsible for bringing the area free-to-access TV stations over the air by antenna. This is a community TV station. If there's a news story or event information that you would like to share, you can call us at 970-677-4119. And if you're a business or organization, we welcome you to find out about sponsorship opportunities for banners or video segments run on the channel. This is the Wednesday program for May 27th, 2020, DCTV Daily News. Reported in the Durango Herald. Amid record unemployment, a bill sponsored by U.S. Senator Michael Bennet, Democrat from Colorado, would train and employ a national workforce to help identify the spread of the coronavirus and aid local public health departments in effectively combating the pandemic. While public health officials are working to meet the myriad needs of addressing a global pandemic, they are often staffed far below the needs for their communities. Since 2003, federal funding for public health emergency has fallen 60%, according to the Coalition for Health Funding. The health force will give us the opportunity to make a renewed commitment to our public health preparedness, Bennett said in a conference call on Tuesday. Our failure to make that commitment is one of the reasons we are more vulnerable to this virus in the first place, and we can't make that mistake again. Under the proposed bill, funding would be provided to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, for training, while the jobs would be overseen by local healthcare professionals, with the program potentially becoming permanent after the crisis is over. The duties of the health force would include contact tracing, administering COVID-19 tests, providing supplies and medical services to the elderly and at-risk populations, and eventually administering a vaccine when it becomes available. The new service would reinvigorate struggling public health departments, which have seen as much as a quarter of their workers laid off since the 2008-09 financial crisis, said Leanne Jolan, Executive Director of the San Juan Basin Public Health Department. During the call, Jolan said local medical directors and nurses, quote, have a huge increased need for the workforce to get this done in the coming months to reopen Colorado safely. This is a serious business, and we do want to make sure we get it right, Jolan said. Resources will be distributed where there have been outbreaks of the coronavirus based on the number of coronavirus infections per capita, Bennett said. The senator was quick to note that this meant that even rural areas or ski resorts where the permanent population wasn't as high would still be given the funding needed to combat the virus effectively. Monique Lovato, Chief Executive Officer of Mikasa Resource Center in Denver, said that the bill was an opportunity to hire local students or workers in those areas who have been laid off because of the ripple effect of the pandemic. It's really about training the workforce that we already have in the state rather than trying to bring others in, Lovato said. The health force was announced at the same time that other Senate Democrats have proposed creating additional jobs to bolster other federal response programs such as AmeriCorps and the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA. Altogether, more than 750,000 jobs could be created under the Democrats' plan. We've got to do what our parents and grandparents did, which is invest in this state, Bennett said. The bill will be introduced as part of Congress's next coronavirus relief package. The U.S. House of Representatives has been called in session for 2 days this week to debate several bills, including some related to the Project COVID-19 pandemic. And now, let's take a look at our local weather for the week. Today, sunny with a high near 82 degrees with east winds at just 5 to 15 miles an hour. Tonight, mostly clear and a low around 52 degrees. Those north-northwest winds will be around 5 to 15 again. Into Thursday, we're looking for another sunny hot day with a high near 84 degrees with northeast winds at 5 to 15 miles an hour. And into Thursday night, mostly clear with a low around 55 degrees. Again, with lighter northwest winds, 5 to 10 miles an hour. Sunny again for Friday with a high near 85 degrees. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. For Friday night, partly cloudy and a low around 56. Saturday, partly sunny with a high near 85 degrees. And it still looks like Saturday night we might have a slight chance for showers and thunderstorms before midnight. Mostly cloudy and a low around 57. Into Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 83. Sunday night, mostly cloudy and a low around 57. And into June 1st on Monday, we start the month with mostly sunny skies and a high near 81 degrees. Monday night, mostly cloudy and a low around 55. And now, back to the news. Nobody knew how the coronavirus, with its historic stay-at-home order from the governor, would influence and inspire crime across Colorado. No previous period, no critical incident offered much in the way of clues to how lawbreaking would evolve, how conditions would reshape the ways people interacted in close quarters, how violence might erupt under stress and economic anxiety, how the cloistering of citizens in their homes would create vacuums of illicit opportunity elsewhere. This as a report from the Durango Herald. But as municipal and county law enforcement statistics from the first phase of Colorado's response to the pandemic emerge, a few trends have begun to take shape. According to numbers reported by a sampling of jurisdictions, crimes, quote, against society, offenses like drugs, gambling, and prostitution, dropped in several areas, and traffic crashes dipped too. In general, crimes against people were down during the stay-at-home period, unless those people lived in the same home. In other words, there were fewer robberies, but law enforcement noted more assaults among roommates. Another trend, while overall burglaries remained relatively flat, the targets shifted from homes to closed-down businesses. Some in law enforcement saw that one coming. In Denver, crime data analysts looked to 2009, a pale imitation of a pandemic, but a time when the Great Recession offered similar economic stressors. They named it the Great Recession. They looked at I guess this is the Great Pandemic. They looked at the crimes that spiked that summer. They factored in more limited mental health and addiction treatment during the pandemic, even the rising price of some street drugs. They mapped and strategized. One concern was the transformation of the urban center from a hub of activity for both business and entertainment to an empty shell. Quote, when the stay-at-home orders took effect, we were very concerned about the types of crime issues that would fill that void, Denver Police Chief Paul Pazin said. We shifted our approach and were able to get our arms around business burglaries, for example. In part through rearranging patrols by time of day and location, police interrupted 56 burglaries in progress, already more than twice the number of an average year. The Journal shared a report that several dozen workers at a meat processing plant in southern New Mexico have tested positive for coronavirus as state health officials plan yet another round of testing at the facility. Health officials also say they are beginning to look more closely at whether younger people without symptoms are potentially spreading the virus. This according to the Journal reporting. The New Mexico Health Department on Thursday announced that 57 cases of COVID-19 have been identified at Stampede Meat in Sunland Park. The agency conducted 2 rounds of testing at the plant over 2 weeks this month at the invitation of the company, taking samples from every employee. The Las Cruces Sun News reports that a 3rd round of testing is expected this week. The employees who tested positive were reported to be self-isolating, and health officials say they've been working with the company on protocols for disinfecting the facility and providing personal protective equipment to staff. Illinois-based Stampede Meat opened the plant in the former Tyson Foods location in 2018. It began operations with 300 employees with plans to expand to a workforce of nearly 1,300 by 2024. Stampede CEO Brock Furlong said in a statement that the company in early March adopted more safety measures to limit spread and continues to add initiatives based on federal guidelines and recommendations. The first case at the plant was reported in early May. Stampede said its processing facilities are cleaned and sanitized daily, with high-touch areas sanitized every half hour. Employees and visitors are screened and have their temperatures taken before entering. Employees also are instructed to wear layered protection, including face masks, neck warmers, and face shields. According to Stampede, 7.5% of the plant's employees tested positive in the first round. Of those, most were reportedly asymptomatic. The company said 90% of those first cases have recovered. In the second round, less than 5% of the staff tested positive. The company said those workers were still recovering and would be retested and cleared by a medical professional before returning to work. New Mexico has nearly 6,500 cases, and health officials say an increasing number of people who are 19 and younger have contracted COVID-19. Have they contracted, or are they just tested for it? Children and teenagers make up about 13% of the state's positive COVID-19 cases, up from 7% a few weeks ago, and about 4 times higher than the national average, according to the Albuquerque Journal. The state could have more cases involving children because other communities across the country are not testing the same cross-section of their population, health officials said. For most people, the virus causes mild or moderate symptoms such as fever and cough. For some, especially older adults and people with existing health problems, it can cause more severe illness, including pneumonia and death. Children are more likely than adults to show mild or no symptoms, officials said. Symptoms could include fever, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, or any combination of the above. which sounds like the flu. Today's High Canyon Country happenings. To minimize the impact and spread of COVID-19, San Juan National Forest Benchmark Lookout in the Dolores Ranger District will be staffed but closed to the public this summer. Signs will be posted on FSR 493 leading up to the Benchmark Lookout, notifying public the tower is closed to visitors. Quote, the Forest Service remains focused on the safety and well-being of their employees and the public they serve, a news release said. Their mission-critical work, such as staffing fire lookout towers to aid in the suppression of wildfires and other public service responsibilities, will continue in accordance with current Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and local health and safety guidelines. For more information, you can contact the Dolores Ranger District at 882-7296. And add the Telluride Jazz Festival to the long list of summer events that have been canceled or postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Festival organizers announced the decision Tuesday to postpone the August 7th through 9th gathering to August 13th through 15th, 2021. As I reported yesterday, the Dove Creek Pick and Hoe events, such as the Pig Chase, Barbecue Pit, and all of the games and tournaments that make it the Pick and Hoe, have all been canceled due to the health department orders following the governor's orders of gathering no more than 10 at this time, maybe going up to 20 in June at the most. They feel the threat to potential coronavirus cases being contracted are too high of a risk. Two of the local commissioners, Garcher and Cook, during a DC Chamber chat also expressed that they do not see a way forward for our 65th annual community event in any capacity. We will continue to bring you updates with the Chamber working for the local businesses and the community for a recognition of our Independence Day in any way that could work within the regulations to keep people's health the priority from coronavirus, which at one point the authorities said it should go away with the heat, by the way. And an update that Dolores County's current scoreboard for COVID-19 shows 29 county residents as of May 26 have been tested and 29 negative results. We have 0 coronavirus COVID-19 cases, and let's keep it that way. And an opinion note, please do continue to be healthy and happy out there. Washing your hands is a common sense action we have been taught to do by our parents since we were little. Cleanliness goes a long way towards that healthy life, and we all strive to maintain or achieve it as best as possible. Read, do research, listen, and discern for yourself what your best course of action is to live life to its fullest. You have your own right to do what you want with your life. Help one another as most of us already do, and we will see a bright future. When getting angry or fearful or any extreme negative energy, that only feeds the beast, as they say, or the archons if you want to investigate Sumerian history from actual tablets inscribed 10 to 12,000 years ago. Learn from our past. That's no conspiracy theory there. It's historical documentation, even transcribed in the London Museum. And while you may still have some time on your hands at home, look it up. At the very least, it's a way to keep your mind growing and thinking. And I post High Canyon Country happenings and information on our Facebook page, which is DCTV Daily News, where you can also watch the program replay with local news, links, and stories of local interest. And you can also share other events or news there and join in on the conversation. It's your local community TV station. So if you have something to share, contact us. The email is dcbnnews@gmail.com or call us at 970-677-4119. We want to know what you think about all this pandemic, COVID-19, our county, and where you see moving forward for our future. Thanks for tuning in. DCTV Daily News is Thanks for tuning in to DCTV Daily News. Programs are broadcast Monday through Friday with replays online on our YouTube channel or DCTV Daily News page on Facebook. If you like the program, please do like and follow us on Facebook and share it with your friends and family. This has been a production of DCTV for the DCTV Daily News program out of Dove Creek, Colorado, USA. I'm Kendra Cook. Again, thank you for watching.